A man who was once imitated by people from Paris to New York. A piece of whose restaurant bill cost more than $1 million. There would be a line as soon as he entered the restaurant. Even stars like Messi wanted to take pictures with him. But today, the same man is pushed out of the event gate. The security guards don't even know him. How did this huge decline happen in just a few years? The story begins with a gesture of sprinkling salt, and ends with the destruction of his own empire with his own hands. However, the beginning of this story was not at all glamorous. A small village in Turkey, named Pazli. His father worked in the mines. But that income did not support the family. Due to poverty, Nusret Göz left school at the age of 13 and started working as an apprentice in a slaughterhouse in Istanbul. Working 13 hours a day, not a single day off. This is how his journey in the food industry began. After working in various steakhouses across Turkey for years, he went abroad in 2007 with a loan from a bank to learn about the meat business and the steakhouse industry. After 3 years, he returned home and opened his first restaurant. Only 8 tables. Although the beginning was small, the quality of the food was so impressive that a Turkish billionaire himself offered to invest. Opportunity to expand the business throughout the Middle East. But the real turning point came on January 7, 2017. Wearing a white t-shirt and dark glasses, he posted a video of himself cutting meat and sprinkling salt in a strange way. Overnight, the video spread all over the world. Millions of people watched it in one night. That gesture of sprinkling salt became the biggest meme on the internet. And people started calling him by a new name. Saltby. That moment of sprinkling salt changed everything. Within a few weeks of going viral, Saltby announced the opening of luxury restaurants in New York and London. Then in many more countries one by one. The menu includes a burger for 15,000 rupees, a can of Red Bull for 1,000 rupees, a dessert for 3,000 rupees. And the most amazing thing is a steak coated in 24-karat gold. The price is about 2.5 lakh rupees. Even then, people would come from all over the world. Not just for the food, but to see the salt bake with their own eyes. But the story behind this camera was not at all golden. The London restaurant became known as one of the worst restaurants in the city. Out of more than 300 reviews, 167 were disgusting ratings. Customers said the food was crazy bad. It was all show. There was nothing inside. Food critics also called the burger shop in New York the worst restaurant in the city. Tasteless rubber. Hard as a shoe sole. A hardship to live with, but Saltby Bey never put on any of these. On the contrary, he started to consider himself an icon, saying that because of him, every kid wants to be a butcher now. He was an inspiration. The quality of the food, the customer experience, all fell behind. Only the performance and the camera were in front. And the first blow to this arrogance came in September 2018, when a fire stunt went out of control while trying to surprise customers. 4 people were injured. Among them, a foreign influencer suffered a large part of his body burned. He had to spend months in the hospital. But Saltby never said a word about it. As if nothing had happened. And that same month, an even bigger controversy broke out. He hosted Venezuelan President Maduro at a lavish dinner at a restaurant in Istanbul. At the same time, a large part of Venezuela was facing a food crisis. Imagine a country where people are struggling to eat a single meal, and the president of the country is proudly posting a video of himself eating a steak dipped in gold. An American senator even directly said that the man he was so proud of was actually the dictator of a country where many people cannot even eat a single meal a day. Riots spread to one city after another. But for Saltby, performance was always big. He never felt the need to apologize. But the external controversies were just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the kitchen door was a more terrifying reality. A former manager said that Saltby's entire world was filled with Instagram and fame. He began to think of himself as a god. If he broke a glass or wore the wrong color shirt, his job would be lost. A London bartender said that working there was like living on a battlefield every day. Employees were forced to stand in fake long lines. During the Corona period, the restaurant was accused of spending the night in the restaurant without any overtime pay. He was accused in multiple cases. A large part of the tips was kept by the management themselves. Especially when big celebrities came. A 19-year-old employee had money deducted from his salary just for serving food to the wrong table. Another had nearly $800 in tips deducted because a customer ran away without paying the bill. As if that was his fault. Female employees were forced to wear short dresses. If they protested, they would be subjected to harassment and even lose their jobs. There was no honesty even in the kitchen. Cheap meat was passed off as premium. There were allegations that stale wine was poured into new glasses and even non-halal meat was sold as halal. Imagine how dark a world hides behind the man who poses in front of the camera with a smile. Yet perhaps much of this would have been suppressed if he had not chosen the world's biggest stage for his downfall. On December 18, 2022, Argentina won the World Cup final. The players were crying. The whole world was looking at that field. Just then, he crossed the security and entered the field. He even